temperature that's going on. So anything that could happen, so you're getting your alarms early. So it's really a state-of-the-art machine, and we will make sure that, again, our commitment to you is it's going to be sterilized, it's going to be buffered, it's going to be safe, prevent against oil spills, fires, and all of that. So that's, And then for all of those that are building around the area, you're going to have one of the most reliable power here on the island, because you're right there in the heart of the system. So, thank you. Question, please.
Hi, Mr. John. You're saying that this new power plant is going to be using better fuel and more stability, so it should run cheaper, correct? Okay, so how long does it take to build this plant before it gets into operation?
Our plan is to complete this power plant by December 31st, 2021.
Okay.
Our plan is to try and get this contracted, barring any other, I don't want to say the word protest again, before the end of the year, so that they have a 3-year period to build a plant, because it also takes a while to build the pipelines.
Okay, my point is that until the plant is up and running and will give us hopefully better power rates, it costs money to build. So that money gets recovered by fuel charge or costs on our power bills, correct?
Currently, the power plants that we have are what we have for the next 4 years, right? So yeah, what they burn in fuel is depending on, it went down all the way down to 8.8 cents a kilowatt hour on the LEAC 2015. But now in the next, it started to go back up. It's back up to probably going to be up around 14, 15 cents, which is something like what we was in 2014. We're not up to the $100 a barrel, $120 a barrel that we experienced in 2010, 2011. There, your LEAC was about 20, 21 cents a kilowatt hour. So hopefully over the next 4 years we can ride this tide, and but the one thing that's going to help again, but it won't be for another 2 years, is the renewables that we're putting in. That's going to save us about $13, $14 million a year. That's not going to come in for another 2.5 years, and then that will start to cut down on our costs. So hopefully fuel stabilizes at least, or comes down,
Okay.
And that. But when the new power plant comes on, like I said, we may be already going towards natural gas. And I think, I don't have it in this presentation, but it's one of the ones that I've shown to the different organizations. It's shown what it is, what happens with the new power plant parity, and what happens when we go to natural gas. And we save this tremendous amount of repair money. And that's why I'm saying, this is an opportunity to stabilize our rates.
I understand that, but I guess what I'm getting at is, right now we're experiencing a certain power bill. We're used to a certain power bill. And then when you build a plant, it's going to cost money. So for a period of time, we're going to have a rise in I expect a rise in our power bill. Not regarding the LEAC or anything else, just because you build a plant and you have to recover that. No?
No. The chairman promised, and he's my boss, that we will not raise rates, base rates, when this new power plant come on. I can run the numbers to you right now, but I am fortunate that you'll still like me at the end of the time that this power plant goes on. No, wait, finish. because again, we have for case in point, Temis number 7 just came over to us from the IPP. We're saving $5 million a year. Non-operational Cabras 3 and 4 will be about $6 to $10 million a year. Cabras 1 and 2, when it retires, that's another $10 million a year. MEC 8 and 9, the IPP is becoming a new power, is coming over to GPA. That's another maybe 14 to 18 million dollar savings a year. So when you start adding that up, the debt service of the new power plant is taken away. I'm not telling him all of the numbers, right? But again, so the only thing that we have no control of is the price of fuel oil. So
Okay,
hopefully it starts to,
so as I understand it, whatever it costs to build that power plant, which is going to be sufficient for development in the future, it's not, your base rate's not going to increase, and we, any increase we see is because of the fuel costs,
Yes,
correct?
that's great. And when I still have a job, you know I was correct.
No, that's an important factor. Now, in doing all of this and looking at what we were going to go forward with, we started a plan, and John's been very good at it, of cutting costs at GPA. So we've been cutting costs in a number of different areas. One of them that I can tell you about is, for example, overtime. Overtime used to run around $3 million or over $3 million. It's down to $1 million a year now. So we've been saving a lot of money. And what we're doing is we're taking all the savings that we're accumulating to put into this project so that we don't have to touch the base rates. Our commitment is not to raise the base rates. Now, the fuel price is something we can't control. But in the long run, as John has been trying to tell you and explain to you, if we put in this system, if we put in all the renewables, and we're going to get up to around 180 megawatts of renewable energy, what it's going to do is we can't control the price of the oil, but if we can kind of cut back on the volume of the oil that we burn, that's how we can lower that price to our consumer, you, the ratepayers. You can't control the price, but if you can control the volume. So think of it this way. Your price at gas station went up recently. Everybody saw it. I saw it when I got my car. Well, if you gas your car 4 times a week, you're going to pay a lot. If you can cut it down to 2 times a week, you're going to save more money. The price is still going to be high, but you're going to be gassing less. That's the concept as we go forward with this plant. These are efficient plants. These are plants that work well with renewables. As John said, the dump trucks don't like to go up and down. Well, these plants will follow renewables.
That's right, Camaro. It's a Camaro. But just to add more to what you're concerned there, by 2021, we would have 25% of the energy on the island being generated by renewables. That would not escalate more than 1% over the 25 year. We are already working to make that, I'm not going to say the number, but we're trying to do more by upgrade. We're going to be concentrating on upgrading the grid with what money we have, no? So that we can have more renewables. But you need this plant to be your stable power plant to work with all these renewables that we can bring into the system. And when we contract renewables, it's a long-term fixed cost contract. See? Now that will help stabilize also your future rates. Question? Yes, please.
So you're saying through the course of the years, we're going to save money so we don't have to pay higher rates. Okay, I appreciate that. But my concern is now is that you're saying it's going to take about 3 years to build that factory, right? An efficient factory to burn less fuel and all this good stuff to save money. Okay, so that's in the years when that thing is operable. So that I'm looking at that factory, maybe what, you're looking at about $100 million to build that. Where are we going to get that $100 million?
We're going to go out for what they call an independent power producer. Case in point, MEC 8 and 9, they supplied all the money to build that power plant, and all we paid was a monthly debt service or capital cost, like a mortgage. So they built that power plant about 19 years ago, and it's a 20-year contract. They supplied all the money. We just paid them a regular annual fee. That power plant is coming over to us on January 1st, 2019, next year, at no cost to the people of Guam. So there again, you not only pay for the mortgage, but you're going to own the power plant at the end. So one alternative is similar to the same thing here. If we don't have to put out, we may look at whether financing costs may be better if we did it, but again, that's a tricky scenario that we're still looking at. But again, as far as getting the money, it's not an issue. There are many proponents that are picking up the bids already, that are been waiting for this to come together for a long time. And again, at the end, they call it bill operate transfer by an independent power producer. There's a private entity that puts in their money, so therefore they must make sure the power plant work. GPA is not going to be in the power generation business anymore. They'll just manage its contracts. Take it over after 25 years, we flip it again into another IPP for beyond. GPA will take care of the grid and strengthen it and do all of that. We do very well with that, but it's very difficult to keep employees rotate over time, training and all of that. It's very difficult to really run a power plant. The procurement process that we have, you don't buy power plant parts with procurement processes that we have today. Makes it very difficult to run a power plant. So I am convinced, and that is where the policy is set to go independent power producers. So all of this that are coming into bid, they will be the one running it for the next. But it will be within what we put together as what we want, what we need, how you were going to run it, and this and so on. So. And that's how the same thing, the power purchase agreement with the solar, except there we don't own it after the 25 years because it's probably not worth much at all after that time.
So if you're worried about the amount, we are telling you the base rate we're going to control. The problem is the fuel. We will tell you up front we can't control. If the price of oil goes up, the price of oil goes up. We have no control over that, just as you have no control when you go to gas your car. Right. But we control the cost of the car. So we will control that. That's what we're saying to you. We're going to control the base rate. Our mantra is not to increase the base rate. The only thing that has increased over the past, since 2010, the only thing that's changed is the VAC portion. The base rate has not changed. The last base rate was in 2010, 7 years ago. We're fine. We're finding ways to cut costs. When we shut down Tengiz, the other thing that John will tell you, when we shut down Tengiz, we saved $7 million a year. So we're looking for where we're bleeding money and we're trying to save money. Okay?
But see, here's the thing, what I'm trying to get with you at this whole ordeal here, okay, is that I recall sometime, I think this was in 2012, when the legislature came over there and they said, hey, the US EPA said, hey, you guys have to shut that thing down by 2016 because the lifespan of that generator already has expired its lifespan. But we kept running it until it blew up. Is when we decided to shut it down because we had no choice. I'm just saying, Mr. Duenas and Mr. Benavides, that I don't want to hear about this thing about, sure, that's very good what you guys are talking about because I'm hearing everything when you're talking about it and I see that it's time for the upgrade for Guam. But even when you build that thing, okay, so many megawatts, we're just only getting caught up to what we're going to do and then you got to anticipate the military buildup is going to come in, okay? There's other future developments that are going to come up around that area where power is going to be a source that everybody's going to need, or resources that everybody's going to need. So what I'm trying to get at is that thing is now if you're saying that you're going to build for this and it's only going to cost you that, but what about 5 years down the line when something pops in there and then we don't understand it? Because you're going to high-tech stuff, okay? I'm not saying that, but if we couldn't even control a boiling a steam engine thing and it popped, what more?
Okay, there's several things there. First off, I have to tell you that one of the things we realized, we reached the point where we said, wow, our kilowatt sales are flat. And so some of our managers were saying, what's going on? And one of the things that's going on is you customers are using less power. Every time you buy a new appliance, see, I tell people, I said, you know what happened? Home Depot came to town. And when they came to town, they brought in new refrigerators, more efficient. Everybody got to the SER rating. Everybody's now aware How much is your air conditioner? How much is the refrigerator? How much is the dryer? And we realized that people are beginning to cut their consumption because of the appliances, because you have now more energy efficient appliances, more energy efficient products. How many of you can go out and buy light bulbs anymore than the old style? Everything is now compact fluorescent or they're LED lights. All those things consume less power. We see it in our kilowatt sales. We're seeing that. The smart meters are telling us. So we know that as we project more growth in renewable energy, more growth in what we want to do, this is the plan that will take us forward. We're going to have this. The simple thing is it's going to be 265 megawatts of base load and 165 megawatts of backup load. Peaking plants, okay? 400 and some. But we're going to put in about almost a couple hundred megawatts of renewable power. Now, the ones that John came out, I want to steal his thunder a little bit. But we're putting in some units, 260 megawatt farms. One of those 60 megawatt farms is going to have a battery, an energy storage that's going to help with the intermittency, the going up and down. But there's going to be about 15 megawatts there where we're going to be shifting. In other words, 15 megawatts of solar is going to be converting that and storing it to use at nighttime. When we get to the final phase, phase 3, right? We're going to be doing 40 megawatts with, I'll let you tell me.
Yeah, the Navy lease plan, we're putting 40 megawatts with enough, and all that 40 megawatts of energy generated in the daytime will be stored in batteries, and then we're going to cut the peak. The peak time in the day is when we run all the less efficient machines, the peakers they call them. But by having battery storage, you're cutting down again, reducing cost. So that is phase 3 that's out in the market right now that will be opening up around April or May. So you have the 120 plus the 40 that's coming up plus the 25. So you can see a lot of renewables. In terms of in 5 years whether we'll have enough capacity to meet what's coming up, I can assure you that the answer is definitely yes. Because right now we have about 25 megawatt above the reserve for the loss of the 2 largest unit, meaning 1 unit down on overhaul, you lose the second largest, we still have 25 megawatts in reserve, which is about what is the criteria for reliability. By the time we get to the 4th year, we'll be down to about 5 megawatt above the 2 largest unit. When the new power plant comes on board, you're adding 95 megawatts more to the 2 largest unit. Over the next 4 years, I expect we'll be growing about 5 megawatts per year. So we'll just get to that point when the new power plant. So I don't see us cutting back what you call development and all of these things that are going to happen. I'm saying there is a lot of things happening. Because I just asked for it this morning, and there are a lot of homes being built here, a lot of commercials being built, which is fine. All I'm saying is that if we don't start building, then I have to start letting everybody know today that we're not going to have enough power. But if we start building, then there's not a problem. We will do everything we can to make sure that everything goes well. So I think that's your concern is whether we have enough power. Okay. Sir?
Yeah, good evening. I'm Don Rabana. I'm from GRMC, Manila City. I'm here to represent, just to put things in perspective, I'd like to congratulate you guys for doing this particular effort because this is really needed by the island of Guam. And I state that as we operate the hospital, we experience this. The hospital healthcare is one of the few industries where electricity is really critical vital. It causes life and death, basically, right? So the hospital is really in favor of building a new power plant, making it more stable, lessen the fluctuations of our current, dirty current as we call it. But our only concern, primary concern really is, as we stated previously, would be location. Using the earlier illustration, example from New York, where a power plant was situated near the hospital, which is about 1,400 feet. Our current, at least proposal now, is we're roughly about 200 feet away. The nearest school is about 2,000 feet away. So just to put things in perspective, But I just wanted to mention that. But my next question will be, given that there were several locations that was considered as far as power plant is concerned, I was wondering if there's any environmental impact analysis related to these various